I'm so fucking speed. God damn. Come back to the front. I'm going. Go. Get me.
Oh, well, good evening, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen around the world. It is once again time for the WADcast, the Friday night podcast. I think
Yep.
my calendar.
It's Saturday. It's Saturday night, and it's my fault.
Okay, well, live from just a little south of New York, it's Saturday night.
And a little west of New York, too, okay?
Slightly.
But like a little, I mean like very west of New York.
Oh, you, yeah, pretty far west. Welcome to the podcast, the writers, actors, directors, and every position on the set and between podcasts, where we celebrate everybody that comes together to create fine art. My name is Josh, and as always, I am joined by. Oh wait, no, he just got canceled. Never mind. But
listen, I canceled myself. Hi, everybody. It's Brandon here coming at you. Good.
See, canceled. Can't fight
Oh,
fate.
good Lord. Hello? Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know what's happening with Brandon. He is just jumping in and out. So without further shenanigans, I will introduce that mysterious third voice. If you're a fan of the show, then you know already who it is. It is Sue. Sue, what is up?
Not much. How you doing, Merlin?
Oh, just for me, it's spring break. I'll throw that out there. I am on spring break because I am a child.
Nice.
So for the next 9 days, it's nothing but fun in the house because I still don't do stuff.
Okay. Is this more clear?
Kind of.
Can you guys hear me clearly now? Is this better?
I can hear you.
Sorry, I stepped away from.
Makes things better is subjective.
Listen. First off, bitch, you love me. Second,
it's true.
No, listen. I'm so used to having like my earbuds in when I'm doing this, or my headphones on when I'm doing this. I had these new wireless earbuds, and I stepped away to go let my dog out the back door, and I realized I didn't have the phone in my pocket. So, yeah, sorry, but yeah. So like, no, it's Josh, already introduced Sue, reintroduced, recurring guest on the show. We've had her more than we've had anyone else on the show because that means that we love her.
Aww.
And you other guests, you know what? We love you guys too, but she returns messages.
Because I have no life. That's why I return messages.
It's overrated, life.
Yeah, that's what they say. Okay, so what are we talking about this week?
I believe it's an hour of WandaVision.
Oh, I know that.
Brandon?
Is he gone again?
Okay, can you guys hear me at all?
Yes.
I can hear you.
Okay, so I gotta keep the browser open then. Okay, at all times I can't minimize it. All right, so Josh, would you like to get into what this show is about tonight, or do you want me to do it?
Well, you're usually the one that brings in the topics as far as introducing them. I don't see a reason to change tradition tonight.
I guess I introduce topics, and since I'm banned from having the final thoughts on the show, I will gladly do that. So we are discussing cancel culture its effects on the film industry and what actually is cancel culture versus what's not. Because sometimes it comes down to nothing more than just being held accountable for what you can believe and say whatever you want to, by all means. Yes, there is a freedom of speech in this country. We're not a we're not like a dictatorship or anything like that. We're not like any kind of communist country. We're a very well, for the most part, a free society. But the thing is freedom of speech does not remove freedom of consequence. So, so you always have the consequences of what you say and your beliefs if you choose to announce them. Now, Sue and I have had great conversations, and we've had long conversations over the phone in the past couple of months about, just having your beliefs. Mm-hmm. You can always have your beliefs, and that's fine by all means. Like, say and whatever you want to do, but those beliefs. Right now, we live in the modern age. Your beliefs, if they span back to if your ideals line up to those before the civil rights movement, chances are you're a little out of date.
Yes.
And that will come back and bite you in the ass. So if you're promoting something like some level of like intolerance, like culture's always changing. It's like culture is like comedy. It evolves. What was culture like a few years back, even like God, if you watch The Hangover, for Christ's sake, that movie would never get made today with half those jokes in it. Ever.
Exactly.
It was just like if someone would get that script and they would just be like, nope. Pass. Paging Doctor what? I don't think so. But it's just like it's one of those deals where you have to be held accountable for what comes up, and everything. The internet is forever.
Right.
What you post, and even on Twitter, you can delete stuff. That's fine. There's still a record of it. And given the right gumption, someone can easily find something you posted like 5, 10, 15 years ago. Now, cancel culture, people say like Gina Carano was canceled. Like, no, I'm sorry. Like, she was fired from a gig. She was fired from a gig by a company which, in my personal views, flip-flops quite a bit between what is and is not acceptable to their company. I think that Disney is very much an opportunistic company when it comes to what is acceptable, what is deemed acceptable by them by today's standards, and what is not, because it seems to like just always be changing to me. But the thing is, at that point in time, what she was hired for, she was told numerous times, like, we need you to tone it down a little bit because your ideals are not our ideals. And she just continued to do it. And not only continued to do it, but she doubled down on her beliefs.
Right.
It got her fired. That's not cancellation. That is termination of a job. No different than if I were to go to work. I work in healthcare. I work with patients. If I were to go on my Facebook, and celebrities' accounts are very public. They want their fans to see what they say. You got to interact with your fans or your fan base, whatever. So like, it's not the the last century. It's not like the 2000s. We are now in 2021 where celebrities even respond to fans. I've had Kevin Smith respond to me. I've had Seth Rogen respond to me on Twitter. I've had people respond to me that I've only ever seen in movies. Mm-hmm. Or Kevin Smith, I got to interact with him for like 5 seconds in Runyon Canyon one day. But still, the thing is like their profiles are very public. Mm-hmm. On like, let's say like Twitter, right? So if your profile is public, your boss, i.e. Disney, can see what you're posting.
Exactly.
If it goes against their standards, I'm sorry, but you just completely screwed yourself out of a job. It's like, as I was originally saying with my analogy, it'd be no different than me having my bosses and me knowing that my bosses are watching my Facebook at all times. And I were to say something like, oh, I just want to smother this patient with a pillow. Mm-hmm. No, I've never felt that way. But if I were to say that on Facebook, you bet your ass, if I work for any kind of, oh God, competent company, my ass would be fired in a heartbeat. They'd report my ass to the state over threats of violence towards a patient, and I'd lose my job.
Exactly.
So there's no cancellation. It's termination to me. Now let's go to James Gunn now. And Joshua and I were just talking about this on the phone before the show.
Yeah.
That to me was, and I even said like Sue when I was talking to you on the phone earlier, that to me is no different than a witch hunt. Someone had something against James Gunn to the point where they scoured through his social media and they found that perfect or perfect posts, whether I forget if it was Twitter or Facebook, whatever the hell it was. They find that perfect post.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to use this now. And they brought attention to it. And that attention, in turn, got him fired from, from Disney, Marvel Studios, the MCU, from directing the next Guardians of the Galaxy. Scoured through his social media. Sorry. And they found that. Sorry, one second. I got my. Turn that volume down.
The point's so nice we hear it twice.
But no, but the point is that like that to me, that was an attempt at cancellation. So where do you draw the line when you're either A, holding someone accountable for something, or B, outwardly making an attack on them, like launching an attack on them to try to just end their careers because a belief doesn't align with yours, or you disagree with something that they said, or like a film portrayed, or a song lyric portrayed.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it comes down to. So that in effect, in my mind, is cancellation culture at its finest. And there's plenty of examples of things that have happened over the years with artists that were pretty much hunted down to be canceled. So.
I agree.
Got the chat sounding off. Israel says, cancel culture is cancer culture.
And I think that Josh, correct me if I'm wrong. I think I actually said that exact same phrase one time.
Oh, on several occasions, yeah.
Like, yeah, like I actually, Israel, I agree with you. I don't agree. I never, unless I'm like referring it to someone that isn't aware of what I call it, I refer to cancel culture as strictly cancer culture. It is a disease. It's a friggin' disease.
I agree.
Now you can hold people accountable all the little long day. That's fine. James Gunn was like affected by cancel culture long after he acknowledged his remarks and spoke openly about his past posts on social media and how some of the things he posted in the past could be deemed hurtful. But he's happy that he grew as a person since then, and he had a different view on life and the world as a whole. And he was still just fired because someone was like, "Oh, well, what did he write?" And they found these things and they dredged them up. Like the guy acknowledged his things. I mean, everyone has a chance to turn around their thoughts. Everyone has a chance. You have white supremacists that are no longer white supremacists. You have people that were members of like some organization that they're no longer members of, and they've actually changed their views on things and were once hateful and no longer are. I know a few of them very personally. Two of them have met one person that is a white supremacist has met my girlfriend who is black and absolutely loves her. No, I'm sorry. I'm calling him a reformed white supremacist. I should say that. I'm sorry. I really need to say that. But he was a member of that society of people. People can change their mindsets. People can change their views. Your opinion is never. Tell me one person who has an opinion that they have had since they were 2 years old that has not changed in some way.
I agree.
So,
but I also think that it goes over the top as well sometimes.
I agree with you too.
Time, society tends to go from 0 to 60 in seconds. Like 1, 2, 3, it's gone.
Well, yeah, it's all about jumping on the what's popular.
Yeah,
And like honestly, like Josh, what is that term, Joshua? Virtue signaling, I think it's called, right? Virtue signaling, where you like start like preaching something that you don't really believe in, but because everyone else is doing it, right?
Yeah,
I see that a lot.
Changing your profile picture, sporting your company logo with a rainbow flag, things like that.
Yeah, like I mean, it's like no, if the company actually believes in this, it's great, and that's fine. Um, and if you believe in these things, that's fine. But it's like you have there's video footage of people during the marches for Black Lives Matter. I don't know if you guys have seen these, but there are actual pictures of people going out for Black Lives Matter marches, holding a sign saying Black Lives Matter. They walk 2 feet off the curb wearing this beautiful dress or this really nice like attire, like that was very carefully organized. And they take this picture of them holding this sign only for them to then close up the sign and walk away from the march. To me,
I got my picks for the gram, so we're good.
Oh yeah, that's it. It's like, oh yeah, now I can post some kind of like self-righteous bullshit and like try to get people to see like that life is always worth standing up for, no matter the fact that now I'm going to go home and like, jack off or flick the bean for 5 minutes. Like, I mean, it's like that. It's like these people. There are people that virtue signal like religiously. Companies do it themselves. Hell, film studios do it. Celebrities do it all the damn time. But so yeah, Sue, I agree with you. Like there are times where it goes so damn far. But because of these like people that do this virtue signaling, you have more people that believe these people who are very much full of shit that they jump on this train of hate. Now, I'm not going to mention the movie because we've mentioned it before, Joshua and I, and like Sue, like we had an episode on this. If you guys are avid listeners of the show, you will know exactly what movie I'm talking about. We spoke about last summer, marketing versus the products. Now, that being the case, no one knew a damn thing about this movie. No one saw the movie. Someone came up with a whole shit ton of fabrications about this movie, and they were just virtue signaling the hell out of everything, trying to get this movie canceled or like removed from Netflix because they did not agree with the movie that they never fucking saw. There's my one for the episode. So that being the case, you have this all the time. That right there, at its core, is cancel culture. You have no reason to be angry. And you would have a reason to be angry if you watched the movie. By all means, you'd have a reason to be angry. You could disagree with it and be angry. I'd respect that. But you haven't even watched the movie.
Well, I don't need to watch the movie, know what's in it. How many times have we seen that argument?
Oh God! On that movie, on the movie addiction page on Facebook, you see it all the damn always. I almost said the F word. I caught myself. You see it all. You see all the always. It's always around. Well, I don't have to see this to know that this is like some kind of material. Like, well, no, you need to see the movie. Well, I will watch it. Like, okay, whatever. Then don't watch it. Just stop bitching.
That's your choice. Don't watch it, but also don't complain about it.
But, and Josh, like as you and I were talking earlier, like there's numerous examples over the years of things being canceled, or celebrities, singers, directors. You don't really hear much about screenwriters. Thankfully, we can say what we want to say on page. We just opt to either be successful or not. But what we write as writers is ever changing once it gets in the hands of a studio.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I could write this sweet, loving script about a dog that, is adopted. And the dog grows up and it bears a whole family. It's a cute little, kids, network, Nickelodeon kind of show or movie, whatever. And when the studio's done, it could be Cujo. Oh, written by Brandon Junk and the guy that bastardized the script.
Yeah.
Like before, I'm gonna let you finish. But
okay, Kanye.
First, I do want to mention a brief brief period in history where writers were very much the subject of, well, at the time there was no such thing as cancer culture, but there was a movement of patriotism, we'll call it that, going on in the United States, where McCarthyism
Communism
was just
Yep.
rampant. And the writers felt the brunt of it, being blackballed and subsequently unemployed in a lot of cases because of what they believed.
Yep. And if you want to see a really good movie about writers being the basis of a witch hunt, watch The Majestic.
Oh yeah.
Or Trumbo.
That too. I'm just saying, like, there are movies that actually discuss what writers dealt with back in, like, that era, like back in the golden era of film, like, and it's like what they dealt with like being hunted down because of what they wrote. Never mind, the studios bought these things. That didn't mean anything. That would actually show support, but the studios were attacked to an extent, but they went to the base of the story, the writer. Thankfully, that's not the case now. Well, I don't want to say thankfully. I think writers should be held accountable for quite a few things when it comes to what actually makes it into the media. No one knows who the writer is. You see the name, like, okay, Captain America was written by, I forget, Christopher Marcus, and I forget the other guy's name. Now, no, there's a buddy of mine named Christopher Marcus. Could be him. It's not, but it could be. But
when was the last time a screenwriter was like brought to the forefront, getting the interviews and everything? The last thing that comes to my mind, or at least a writer that's not director or acting in it, just a strictly screenwriter. The last thing that comes to mind, I think, is Diablo Cody.
Yep, but she directed.
Did she direct Juno?
Yeah.
She did. She directed Juno, and she also directed Jennifer's Body. I will actually say that no, I can't say him because they were both the writers and the directors. I was going to say Saul, but it was directed by one of the writers, and the other writer acted in the first Saul film. So, but that was also based off of I think a college thesis film or a short horror film, whatever it was that they did. Now, you have the writers of but that's the thing. Like, no one knows who a screenwriter is. Even if a working screenwriter. Yeah, you could be a multi-million-dollar, like, a year screenwriter living in a mansion. Let's face it. Any one of us actual writers know that there are, like, different classifications of writers.
Yes.
The top tier, the ones that are living in mansions in Beverly Hills, these people are the ones that work for studios full time, working on feature films, doctoring up scripts. And the most famous screenwriters are usually not even credited as writers for the product.
No, when you see the advertising, they don't say, written by this guy. They say from the writer of, and then gives something else they've done.
And see, there are some brilliant. There are some brilliant. But you see, like, there are so many brilliant writers in the industry. There are tons of fantabulous screenwriters in the industry. Now, even whether it's like mainstream or independent, there are some people that have some raw, unchecked talent. I've read scripts on, there's a website I used to post my stuff to all the time way back in the day.
What?
What's it called? Script something or other. I'll look it up. While we're doing the show, I'll look this up and I'll tell you, Sue. But there are so many scripts on this platform. Most of them suck. I'll be honest with you. Most of them, and I don't mean to be judgmental. I know these are these people's babies, but the formatting, the dialogue, the character arcs, like all this stuff, a lot of this stuff is just simply missing from these scripts.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you have a lot of writers though on the site that are just so raw with their writing that I'm reading their stuff and I can just put myself into the mindset of the characters because even like screenwriting, a screenplay is all about the action and the dialogue. You don't
Yes,
deal
it
with
is.
like the inner thoughts. That's a novel. The inner thoughts are portrayed by the actors, by their facial expressions. You don't say like, "Oh, well, Jason sits and he's thinking about dinner he had 3 nights ago." Like, well, no, like it's displayed in the script. Now, even with that being said, I've seen people that most likely will never make it in the industry that are more talented than some of the most successful writers. I hate to say it that way,
I know.
but there are some people that are very famous in like at least like not with the population or the moviegoers, but they're famous with you go see a movie, you don't say like, oh well, oh my god, this is written by this guy. I can't wait to go see this. It's like, oh, it's directed by Christopher Nolan. Okay.
Never going to
Oh,
happen.
it's directed by okay, well let's go back like before he died. Oh, it's directed by Wes Craven.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Kevin Williamson is a name that I will say comes to mind, Josh. The guy that wrote Scream. He wrote Scream, teaching Mrs. Tingle, I think the name was. Oh God, what was the other one? The one where they're in school, disturbing behavior. He wrote all these screenplays. Kevin Williamson, he wrote these screenplays. Scream he wrote over the course of a 2-day period. 2 days he wrote this feature length Scream.
Oh, wow.
He was broke as hell. He did not know how he was going to make rent. He isolated himself. He wrote the script, and even after writing the script, he still did a quick treatment for subsequent sequels to show that it could live on as a franchise. I greatly respect that man
Oh, yeah.
because that right there, like I mean, 2 days, and then his agent shopped it out, and next thing you know, this shit goes into like a bidding war frenzy. So I mean, it's just like that's actually one that I will think of as far as screenwriting goes. So I will say
Charlie
he was very
Kaufman.
prolific, Charlie Kaufman. But I'm just saying, like as far as like really like in the press though, like someone that actually like had a lot of interviews. A lot of people don't really when you think of Scream, you don't think of him, you think of Wes Craven.
Yeah.
But that's where like when you're actually like when you pay attention to the screenwriters, I would love to have him on the show. I mean, that's a hell of a story right there. I think honestly, what led to him writing Scream and the success afterwards, and even the things that he fell into after the success of Scream. I think that would make it I think that'd make a fantastic movie itself.
Oh, yeah, it would.
So, let's see. So I've been talking long enough. Josh, Sue, one of you guys, speak.
No, the only thing I really have to say is, as a writer and as an actor, anybody in the film industry, you have to be 100% mindful of social media because it can and it will bite you in the ass.
Yep.
And the more popular you get, the more hungry people are to find dirt on you.
Yeah, the bigger the target.
Yes. As they say, the higher you are, the harder you fall. I've preached it over and over. You can and you will get replaced.
And I think it's funny. It doesn't even seem to matter what your status is in the industry because no matter how big or small, they will find a way to have somebody else do that job.
Absolutely.
no, 100% agree, man.
Nobody's
It's like,
indispensable.
what's that?
Nobody's indispensable.
No, no, you're always replaceable.
Oh, always.
See, and there are billions of people on this planet. Okay, there are millions of people who write as a hobby. Well, let's just go let's go like a couple billion people that write for a hobby. Of those billion people, you have, let's go with maybe a million or two that write religiously on some platform. Of those millions of people, you have a couple 100,000 that work in screenwriting on some level worldwide. Let's just be safe. Let's go to maybe the million person mark, right? Maybe a little bit more. Screenwriting, it's not as popular these days as writing for online websites or magazines, whatever you want to call them these days, or writing for actual printed magazines or newspapers, bloggers. There's tons of outputs for writing. So when you get to the actual screenwriting, you have hundreds of thousands of screenwriters, and of those hundreds of thousands of screenwriters, you have tens of thousands of dedicated screenwriters. And of those tens of thousands of dedicated screenwriters, you have a couple thousand worldwide sought after screenwriters, really sought after.
Yep.
And of those sought after screenwriters, you have a handful of them that are supremely successful. They're in the, as I said, the top tier.
Right, the elite of the elite.
Yes, exactly. And these are the ones that have the mansions. These are the ones that don't have a care in the world. And of them, you have quite a few of them that you'll never see their names on a movie that they helped write. You'll never see their names. You can have some really, messed up shit in those movies that they wrote. You'll never know they wrote them.
Oh, I know.
But coming back to this whole thing, though, when it comes back to the whole hunting down people, you have these supreme examples. Us as writers, we should be held just as accountable for our thoughts and mindsets as any other member of the industry.
Oh, absolutely.
Of any industry.
Yes.
It could be a corporate industry, but our show's about the film industry or the television industry. Once in a while, we kind of talk about music. Once in a rare while, we talk about music. But that industry too. Because you know what? So you and I were talking earlier before, an hour ago, we were talking on the phone about Eminem. That song, "Just Lose It." Eminem, people are hunting him down, and not just not just any group of people. It's this new generation, apparently, and I thought it was made up. I thought it was fake. But he is actually, Josh, have you read this stuff? Have you seen these videos?
No.
It is hysterical. There's a video of a girl crying because, what was it? It reminded her, and this is not what's hysterical about it, but there was a girl that was crying because it reminded her of a painful childhood experience. And for that reason, we should watch what is available for people to listen to. He doesn't need to rap. He should never be rapping. He should never be famous. What he's doing is hate. It's nothing but hate. It's intolerance. Yada, yada, yada. Never mind the fact that this man is very close friends with a very open member of the LGBTQ plus community, Elton John. They're actually very good friends. But he's so intolerant. He has these views that I don't agree with, so we need to end his career. Well, that's not fair. You can have views, but his views are actually, Eminem is a very loving person.
Yes,
he is a very tolerant person. But they're mistaking vulgarity and messed up lyrics in a rap song that was cleared with his label as, intolerance. So it's time to cancel Eminem. James Gunn, he said,
it's gone to the extreme now.
No, that's it. Eminem. So let's cancel Eminem. James Gunn, let's cancel him. He said these things years ago. He acknowledged them, but now I found them, so now I'm going to bring them to light. Let's cancel him. Oh, he got fired. Thankfully, and mind you, this is not the millennial crowd. Millennials go back to like 1981, 1982. People don't really seem to understand that. I myself am very much a millennial. I don't get offended over everything. I laugh at most shit. Like the stupidity behind people. This is mostly people born in like the late 90s who didn't really like process this shit until they got old enough to process this shit. Like I remember listening to lyrics and thinking like, oh, this song's really a lot of fun. And then I paid attention to the song. The song's either really sad or it's really messed up.
Yeah.
Like, just like you have these people that they want to cancel these actors, directors, writers, songwriters, whatever. They're launching these attacks on them. And it's all the younger, hold my hand, I need a safe space crowd. Now, by all means, if I offend you with something, all you need to do is come to me and talk to me.
Uh-huh.
Have a conversation. I'll be glad to tell you, like, listen, those are not my views. I'm sorry that I might have offended you.
Okay,
but,
then I will say that right now, Brandon, I'm triggered because of something you said.
Well, then, Josh, sweetheart, get in line, get a hanky, and wipe those tears away. I'll get to you eventually. I probably offend at least 10 people a day. I don't mean
sorry,
to.
I can't hear you. Your mic is cutting in and out.
Mm-hmm.
You don't insult the guy that controls the board. Never do that. I'm sorry, Brandon.
Okay, that was... Oh, so you were doing it.
Sorry.
That's okay. No, for a second, I thought that I was in an area and you were just being a douche. Okay.
I was being a douche.
Now, Josh, I am triggered.
Oh, God.
Cancel Joshua Chitty. Because you know what? Your name, your last
being canceled.
Your last name is offensive because you know what is a direct ripoff of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Oh my
Completely.
God.
But my triggering from you came from
Disney owns your name.
Disney owns everything. Well, I'm not surprised by this. You used the term safe space incorrectly.
How so?
A safe space is actually something that everybody should be on board with because you're supposed to be able to say literally anything you want without fear of judging.
Well, say the N-word and,
Then it wouldn't be a safe space, would it?
No, it would not. They don't exist. There's no such thing as a safe space. It is nothing more than I need you to protect my sensitive and very volatile mentality.
That's not what a safe space safe space is.
I've never believed in the whole term of the safe space. I've always laughed at it because you know what? I would always, Josh and Sue, if I were to say anything at all to you guys, and it was deemed in the as being the most atrocious thing you've ever heard, I would expect nothing less than someone to call me out. And at that point, I would expect nothing less than for myself to have a civilized conversation about it. The problem with everything today is that the internet has made people feel more comfortable with saying whatever they want to say and not getting punched in the face.
Absolutely.
This is true.
Now, let me bring something home here. I thought about this while y'all were chit-chatting. Years ago, now I'm going back 30 years, because I'm 58. So 30 years ago, my husband and my kids and I were living up in Watertown, New York. And my husband and I went out to lunch with another couple. A little diner, mom and dad diner, whatever it is. And we were sitting at the booth, and I remember looking up. And it was a newspaper story by how this husband strangled his wife because she was nagging him. And he strangled her with his tie. And the judge ruled in his favor and had said,
Jesus.
had the wife not nagged him, she would not have been killed.
God.
So I was pissed and I was offended. Maz was like, honey, let it go. It's this restaurant. I'm like, no, I have to tell him what I feel. So I walked out to the counter and I told him, I said it was offensive. He looked straight at me. He goes, you don't have to be here. You don't have to buy my food. You don't have to come back. I don't care if you're offended. Go down the road and eat at their restaurant. I hung it up because I agree with the situation. You don't like it? Leave. So I went back and I bitched about it a little bit with my husband.
Yep. We still here?
Are you there?
Mm-hmm.
And my husband's like, dear, in a sense, he's right. You don't have to agree with what he said. What he said, it was offensive, yes. But we don't have to be here. We can go somewhere else and eat. So we never went back to that place. But he had his right to say his opinion. I had my right to state my opinion. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
No, it makes total sense. Like, damn.
Yeah. And he was very honest. He goes, you don't have to eat here. Go down. Go somewhere else. So we did. We didn't go back. Just as simple as that. You don't like it? Fine. Move on down the road. You don't have to go, oh my God, I want you out of business. Oh my God, you're a horrible person. They have a right to their opinion. You have your right to express yours. Respect it and carry on. That's just, that whole thing just reminded me of everything.
That's absolutely horrible.
Oh God, the story was horrible. Oh my God. And he framed it, hung it proudly on the wall. I was like, oh my God, are you kidding me? Now today, in today's culture, his business would have been burnt down. People would have picketed him. He'd have been tarred and feathered.
Now, I might have missed something. Was he the one that strangled his wife, or was it like just like a story and he was backing it up and defending him?
He was defending him.
Okay, yeah, no, he would have lost his career.
Oh God, yeah. And he owned the restaurant. He got it out of the newspaper. He framed it and he put a tie around it. And he highlighted the judge's name, the guy's name, and everything. He was proud of it. I was like, oh my God, that is horrible. He goes, yeah, well, carry on down the road. I don't care what you think. So yeah, in today's time, his business would have been burnt down. But back then, they didn't care. It was like, all right, fine. You don't like it? Go somewhere else. Fast forward 30 years later, everybody's losing their damn minds about things. Not saying he's right. Not saying he's wrong. That's his opinion. You don't have to go there. Does that make any sense? Did I lose you guys?
No, I'm here. See if Brandon's here.
No, I'm here.
Okay, so yeah, everybody's here.
No, I didn't realize I had the microphone on mute while you were talking. I didn't want to cut you off. So, yeah, no, that makes total sense. Like it's but this is where everything comes in, though.
Right.
If you are an avid supporter of some horrible situation, if you're a proclaimer of some kind of situation, like it's no different to me than in California, Governor Newsom during the shutdown kind of thing. Okay, like during a whole shutdown, all the restaurants are closed, and no more than I think 10 people in your presence at all times, and they should be wearing masks. And there's more than 10 people who are shutting you down, you'll get fined, yada yada yada, like all this happy horse shit. Restaurants are closed. There was no indoor dining. At the time, there was no outdoor dining. It was like strictly to go. Restaurants are closing down. People are losing their jobs or their businesses, whatever, right? And Newsom gets caught with his hand in the cookie jar, going out to eat this high-end French restaurant up in San Francisco. Inside the restaurant with a group of, I think, like 12 or 13 people, none of them wearing masks, sharing a table, laughing and having a good time. He gets busted. You know what? I think that is grounds to get his ass gone.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, if you are going to impose these restrictions on your states, and your response is to say, I need to, and I'm paraphrasing. I don't remember what he said because it was just like such a lot of horse shit. But basically, his friend was having a birthday and he was there in spirit, but he would have felt really bad if he was not physically there to be there with his spirit to celebrate his friend's birthday. Whatever the bullshit was. But then he's going to work on being more sensitive towards everyone else's needs. Like, could you speak from more of a place of privilege and power trip?
Yeah.
Like, he should have been gone at that very point. They should have just kicked his ass out of office.
I agree.
But for some reason, there were a lot of people that were still defending him. Like, oh, well, he apologized. Like, no, that's not enough for me. I live in the damn States. Like, if you're going to do that, open everything up. I see all of you guys over there in Florida having a good old time, having a great time going out to dinner, and the bars are open and everything else. I know there's spikes. The thing is, I know that there's more spikes in California because we're all on top of each other here. Like, I can't wake up without having, like, 6 men and women on top of me practically because of how thick the neighborhood is. But the thing is that, you know, like, we're so congested here with people that, yes, our cases are going to go up, but you cannot yourself, in a state that you're governing, do something like that and then think that it's going to just, like, pass on the fly. That's not how it works.
I agree.
So that right there, in terms of cancel versus accountability, that would have been accountability. You made a choice. You made an agreement with your business, i.e. your states. And you yourself went back on that agreement.
Yep.
Here are the repercussions of your actions. Gina Carano. Those two are hand in hand to me.
Yeah.
But like, even with her, people are like, oh, well, now she's like, oh, she's unemployed now because of cancel culture. Like, well, no, she's not unemployed. She was fired from a position, but now she got a job working over at the Daily Wire as an actress, which I guess go her. Now, had she been smart, she had an entire series planned out as a spinoff to The Mandalorian for her character. She threw that away. He was going to pay her more. Daily Wire for one movie deal, which will never probably be seen by anyone but people that have, like, you know, avid parlor accounts. Or would she have actually been better off career-wise? Has she not just, I don't want to say stifled her beliefs, but at least, like, tried at some point to be understanding and professional? Like you can have beliefs. You can be a conservative in Hollywood. They do exist. You can be a Republican in Hollywood. They do exist. You can be like we're not everyone in Hollywood's out here like holding hands saying singing heal the world. We're not out here gathered by a campfire with an acoustic guitar singing Kumbaya. Like, I mean, like this whole misperception of what Hollywood is. Like, yeah, I think the Hollywood industry is disgusting. That is why I'm an avid supporter of the independent film industry. I hate what studios do to projects. I hate how they bastardize projects. I can't stand it. But she would have been better off had she just held herself accountable. Now, you know what? I will respect that she stood by her beliefs. She is unwavering. You know what? That's very admirable. That's called conviction. Not many people have that.
But there's a difference.
Yes.
Between your convictions and throwing your opinion on social media when you are in entertainment industry.
And that is exactly where I was going with that. Thank you. And that's it. You have to watch what you say. Your ass is always ready to be nailed to the damn wall.
Yes.
At all times. Now, there are people, it's always deer season in the film industry.
Right. Now, years ago, I got that, by the way. No, years ago, Gabriel Iglesias, the comedian Fluffy.
Yep.
He did a stand-up special. And he was talking about how Disney was fronting his TV show where he's a teacher.
Yeah.
And he mentioned, he said, I have to be very careful now because some of my friends cannot come on set. And he mentioned, just like Martine, my showrunner, my best friend, cannot come on set because of how he acts. Because I don't want to lose that show. It is Disney back. So he walks a very fine line. Even now in his comedy series, walks a very fine line. He doesn't want to piss off Disney.
Yeah, what's the saying? You don't bite the hand that feeds you?
Right, exactly.
Like comedians, they may, if you're successful, being a comedian is a lot like being a screenwriter. There are the comedians that get paid, but then there's that Dane Cook. There's that Richard Pryor.
Uh-huh.
There's that elite. Now, I hate putting Dane Cook and Richard Pryor in the same category, but they are. One's a legend and one's Dane Cook. But the thing is you have, it's the same thing. It's very volatile. It can change. It can blow up at any moment, and that career can just come crashing.
Well,
but the thing is exactly George Carlin, today.
Oh my God,
George. He was very much of my mindset. He was very much in the liberal. He was very much in the middle. I am called a conservative by liberals. I'm called a liberal by conservatives. I'm happy with it. I'm very good with it.
Yeah.
That's fine. You call me conservative. You call me liberal. That means I'm right where I want to be.
Right.
George Carlin was of the exact same mindset. You guys are worshiping these politicians. Your politicians are owned. Henceforth, you yourself are very much owned.
Yes.
There is no freedom. It is an illusion. You have the freedom to say what you want. If you have the freedom to say what you want, guess what? You walk out there, you say what you want. If you have that freedom, you will not go to jail. You will not get punched in the face. You will not get shot. Freedom and accountability are two different things.
Yes.
You are free to do whatever the hell you want. This is the land of the free, home of the brave. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light? Guess what the hell the reality is? You will reap what you sow.
Yeah.
At all times. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. You're no better than anyone else. You are free to come and go as you please. And even right now, that's limited. But you are free to do with your life what you will. But this is nothing new. There's always consequences to actions.
Right.
There's always accountability. Jeffrey Dahmer was very much free to do what he did. Guess what happened? The consequences came up. Like, I mean, probably a bad analogy to say, oh, someone was free to, eat and murder and rape dead bodies. But the thing is he was free to do as he would. But there's always a consequence to your actions, cause and effect.
Right. Exactly.
Cause, he ate, murdered, raped bodies. Effect, prison and death by an inmate. I mean, it's just like Gina Carano. Oh, God, I'm not comparing her to, for any of our listeners, I'm not, I know I have a hard time. Danielle tells me all the time, I beat around the bush with my points. The point is that Gina Carano, cause, she has the freedom to express herself however she wants to. Her life is her life to run it however she wants to run it. She has the freedom to do so. The effect, homegirl lost her job.
Yes.
She lost a very lucrative and possibly a very, very career-building job. And now she is where she apparently always wanted to be, because everything for an actor is always a dream come true. They always have to say that. It's always a dream come true to always want to do this. I've always wanted to do this. I've always wanted to work with the Daily Wire. Well, now you are. I thought your dream come true was to be an MMA fighter. You were great with that. Until you became an actress. The Rock's dream come true was to be a wrestler.
Yep.
Following in his father's footsteps. Now he's an actor. It's his dream come true to be an actor. Like, well, wow. Like, come on. Did you watch movies and say, I want to be an actor when I grow up? Or did you watch wrestling and watch your dad be like, I want to be a wrestler when I grow up? Like, it's always a dream come true. But the thing is that now she is where she is. And she chose where she is through her own actions.
Yes. And I've seen it with models before, over and over.
Yeah. James Gunn didn't choose to get fired from Disney.
No.
He didn't choose that at all. That was a witch hunt. Eminem, he's not going to get fired. His record label makes too much money. They've made too much money from this man. South Park, for frig's sake. See, I almost said it again. I caught myself, Josh.
Uh-huh.
No, I almost said the F-bomb again. But South Park, if there was ever a show to get canceled for their beliefs or for what they say, South Park. But you know what? They've been praised time and time again by how they come off with their points. The episode with Randy Marsh on Wheel of Fortune where he says the N-word on live national television, because he thought it was, the actual answer was naggers, Naggers, for the clue, the people who annoy you. And he said the, racial term instead. Praised by the NAACP for how they brought awareness to racism and racial insensitivity. It was not until they had an episode where they had a character in the likeness of Macho Man Randy Savage playing a transsexual athlete who simply identified as a woman to get ahead in that section of women's sports, and showing what he could do to those women, injuring them, maiming them, beating them, however. And also showed how, I think, PC Principal, who is very protective of anything politically correct, and his wife were so distraught by this because they didn't want to offend him or her, because I think Macho Man Randy Savage's name of the show was Tina, with Randy Savage's voice, mind you. And it just lit the LGBTQ plus community ablaze. Not all of them. The militant side of that community.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm not speaking ill of that community. I respect that community. I will say that as a disclaimer. But for conversation's sake, that was the first time ever that I've seen them so upset over South Park, despite derogatory terminology. That's come up numerous times in the show over the course of its 25 years that's been on.
Yeah.
That episode was like, oh, well, we need to cancel South Park now. I was like, well, actually, the showrunners were ending each episode with #cancel South Park. Like, they were leading the cause. South Park has been renewed for another season. They have another special, the vaccination special. Like, I mean, there's ways to go about getting your point across, I guess is my point.
Exactly.
Obviously, I'm very bad at taking my own advice. There's ways of getting your point across, and there's ways not to. South Park does it brilliantly. You may not be a fan of the show, but you can never say that they are not brilliant writers on staff there.
Oh, absolutely.
I would aspire to be so talented that I could write something that could be so socially relevant the way that the writers of South Park do. They touch on so many issues that need to be touched on. And it's just, I mean, it's brilliant the way they do it. But it's like, you know, like people have tried to cancel them. People are like, picketing Potato Head right now, the Potato Head brand company, because they heard that the company itself was dropping the Mister in its company. And so this shows that cancel culture comes from all political fields.
Oh, I know.
So conservatives are pissed off over the Potato Head company to the point where they had to come out with a disclaimer for the company to say, well, we're not canceling Mr. Potato Head. There will still be a Mr. and Mrs., but we make more than just the Potato Head products now. So we're just changing it to a generalized Potato Head. Indiana Jones, come on, look out. So it's like, it's the way that the cancer culture is acting. Yeah, it is very much cancer at its core.
Yes, it is.
It is just unhinged anger looking for offenses that you can deem to be, I don't know, career ending or company ending. The film industry, as which should be the main point. I know that I keep bringing up other like areas not related to film here, but it is everywhere. It doesn't just stop with the film industry. It goes abroad.
Oh, God, yeah. You know, years ago, a story, about 10 years ago, actually, before I found my regular hairdresser, I went to a lady's hair salon. She owned it. Nice lady. I liked her. She did my hair. And she asked me, about my personal life. Are you married? Blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, I'm married. She goes, well, where's your husband? I go, well, he'll be here in a minute. He's Army in the Army. I kid you not. She literally stopped washing my hair and stepped away. I said, I don't want him ever in my salon.
Because he's in the Army?
Yes. And I went, whoa, why? And she goes, well, years ago, my father was in Vietnam. I said, okay.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. And she goes, he died. I said, okay, I'm sorry. She goes, my mother committed suicide. I went, I'm sorry. She goes, I was an orphan. And I blame the military for taking my parents. And she was in her 50s.
Well, blame the government, not the military.
She handed me a towel. She goes, I need you to get out of my business, out of my salon, and do not ever come back again.
No. Well, then she's just a moron. I mean,
yeah. Oh, she was hateful.
Like, Sue, I'm sorry that happened to you. That has to be embarrassing, but at the same time, she is just an idiot. That's someone that has no idea where the buck lies when it's not being passed.
Yeah. I couldn't even wait for my husband in her parking lot. I had to wait on the street. And my husband pointed, goes, why the hell are you standing on the street? I go, I'm not allowed on the property. He went, why? And I told him why. He goes, oh my God. I go, she didn't even do my hair.
Jesus.
Yeah. That's how bad it was even 10 years ago.
But it's like, but, and that kind of stuff, that is the exact mentality that boils over when it comes to like the film culture these days.
Yeah.
There are so many movies. Harold and Maude would never be made today. Harold and Maude, for fuck's sake! Oh, okay. I'm sorry. There was two. Sorry, I just broke the R-rated rule.
That show.
Uh,
I liked it.
but like Harold and Maude would never be made. Porky's, for crying out loud, would never. American Pie. American Pie. First off, the script sucked. If anyone, if any of our screenwriting crowd ever listens to this podcast, especially this episode, read the American Pie screenplay. That is how you do not write a screenplay. But if it gives you hope, it still got sold. Now, but American Pie, setting up a webcam while you're about to hook up with a girl, that's not humor that would carry over to today. That guy would never get a job again. If you want to look at how like people are held accountable, there's this movie called LaQuisha that came out I think 2 years ago about a white man that is trying to make it as a DJ for a radio show. No one will hire him. Excuse me. No one will hire him. Now, he sees an ad, and they're looking for voices from the black community. So he poses as a black woman on the radio show, does a demo tape and everything, and gives himself the moniker LaQuisha. This entire movie, he's carrying himself as a regular old middle-aged white dude outside doing his own thing, living his own life. And by night, he is doing this radio show called LaQuisha, where he is live with LaQuisha, where he is impersonating a black woman.
Yeah.
He becomes a national phenomenon. And then he brings on a black woman to be not on the show, but as the face of the show, because they want to meet LaQuisha. Then he starts realizing what he's doing is wrong. Like the character actually has to realize what he's doing is pretty messed up.
Yes.
Which I don't know why. Like honestly, the movie, the story should have just stopped after the first page. But still, he leaves the show. She takes over. The personality that he created is tainted by her doing the show because LaQuisha, his version, the character that he created was very loving, very sympathetic, and everything else. And her version of the character is very angry and, just like judgmental, yada, yada, yada. It just goes on. And then she comes to his apartment, and these two do not get along at all in the movie. They don't get along. The lady has an ego trip, and she's like, I'm the face of LaQuisha. I'm famous. You're not. They don't know who you are. I'll tell everybody who you are, whatever. He leaves the show. She comes to his house and tells him, mind you, this black actress was given the lines by this guy who wrote, directed, and starred in this film. She had to read these lines to him saying, you're a better black woman than I will ever be.
Wow.
This was actually in the movie. And then he gets busted. He gets found out. His show ends. The ratings at the radio station dip. So then he comes back. He issues a massive apology, reveals himself to the world, and tells people, if you want, you can have LaQuisha or you can have me. Those are your options.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, they choose to have this middle-aged white man to play a black woman on the radio in today's society.
But that would never fly today.
No, but this movie's only 2 years old.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Granted, the guy only had one other movie. I don't know how the hell he did it. He's not famous. He only had one other feature film, and they were both independent products. Now, me personally, sure, I laughed a few times. I was a little uncomfortable laughing about some of the stuff, but yeah, it was funny. if you have a dark sense of humor and you can actually separate yourself from, like, the guy, what he wrote versus what he believes, it's not a commonplace thing these days. And sometimes, like, there's a reason why these things are not commonplace. You have to evolve with the times. My sense of humor is really dark. I get told about myself all the time because of it. This is a movie that if it was made like 20 years ago, it probably would have been a hit. Not now.
Easily.
But so I was like with him, like he is last I read, like he's talked about how he's probably going to step away from the film industry because he's gotten death threats over this movie. Like, well, then you know what? That is not cancel culture. That is you reaping the repercussions of your actions, man.
Right. Exactly.
Your name is attached to it on 4 levels: producer, director, writer, and actor. Like, that shows how much he believes in this project, and that's fine. I'm happy that he believes it. I'm happy that, like, congratulations on making this happen. How did that work out for you? Josh, are there any views on your side? You're the most quiet one out of me and two tonight.
Oh, yes. Very quiet. Josh?
Nope.
Did you seriously just unmute your mic and then remute it?
Yep.
Josh, come on, you got to have something you got to weigh in on here, buddy. Nothing?
Nope.
Man, we're 70 minutes in. It's a little late for reactions.
Well, you have a date
It's never
tonight?
too late for reaction.
Yeah, it's pretty late.
No, it's only 11:15 there.
And
So, are we effectively ending the show tonight, or what?
well, I figured the last thing that should be brought up was okay. You know, think about the MCU, right? And how they've had that running gag, especially in Spider-Man: Homecoming, where they have Captain America doing the PSAs for the kids.
So, you went up in detention. Yeah.
So think about it this way: Captain America just popped up on screen after your company has found out about some things that you've done and it's gone public. So this is Captain America. So you've embarrassed yourself or your public or your company in public. What can you do now? I think between the examples of James Gunn and Gina Carano, they are not only night and day in the execution of the persecution, as some might say, but their handling of their situations was also completely different. Gina Carano, she just seemed to, I don't know, double down at every turn and push her chips all in, going, I am who I am. You gotta deal
Oh, absolutely.
with it. It's like, yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, we get it. You're Gina Carano. Right. Yeah, you're definitely going to be a big draw somewhere else. Cool. I don't think we'll ever really hear from her again, personally. But something that people, especially in Facebook comics, really like to bring up. They're like, Gina Carano got canceled. 1, no, she didn't. And 2, well, they brought back James Gunn. Yeah, here's the thing James Gunn did. He apologized, for one.
Yeah.
Admitted the error of his ways. And accepted the fact that he was wrong. It doesn't matter if you're wrong or not, but you have to acknowledge, hey, this thing that you hate me for, I could have, A, evolved my opinions on the subject. B, would be in Gina Carano's case, who does not believe she was wrong in any way, shape, or form, say, I'm sorry. See, there's the apology. But I'm sorry, but this is how I feel. I know it's not a good representation of, the company that I work for, or blah, blah, blah. Just something along the lines of, I'm not acknowledging that I'm wrong, but I will acknowledge that the things that I've been saying aren't in step with the company that I work for. It's
exactly
admitting something. You don't have nobody has to come out and start kissing the toes of anybody that might be offended. I mean, another good example people have been bringing up, especially when it comes to cancel culture, and the whole left versus right thing, the Dixie Chicks. Remember, they said, "I am ashamed George W. Bush is from Texas." And what happened? The pyres of Dixie Chicks merchandise. We're going to burn their shirts. We're going to burn their albums. Blah, 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 blah.
But not only that, they actually went out to the families. They were threatening the grandmothers.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I think you two are absolutely on point when you say cancel culture has no political origin, or it has no political orientation, even, because no matter which side of the aisle you lean in this country, you've gone after somebody. You've done something to try to take someone with an opposing viewpoint down, not necessarily because of the opposing viewpoint, but because of the way that viewpoint was presented.
But you see, let me put it this way: like with cancel culture, this is what I find so funny about this. Okay, now I don't watch professional football. Like I think it's just like all just stupid. But Colin Kaepernick, right? Nike was viciously canceled by all the diehard right-wing conservative nut jobs. To the point where they're buying Nike stuff just to burn it. They're supporting a company to cancel the company. Now, the reason behind it is because he had the audacity to take a knee during the national anthem. Now, whether or not you do or do not agree with that, that is very much something that's on the fence. I know veterans that are absolutely offended by taking a knee during the national anthem. And I know veterans who will say that they fought for your right to do so. Now, that being the case, they were offended because Colin Kaepernick took a knee, or Kaepernick, however you pronounce his name, took a knee during the national anthem and sparked this whole thing of taking a knee. And then former President Donald Trump said, like, if you're not standing and with your hand on your chest during the national anthem, you're a traitor to the country, whatever the hell he said. Now, again, paraphrasing.
Quote, sons of bitches.
Yes. Meantime, there's a video of him during a Super Bowl party, during the national anthem, not standing still. He's being a son of a bitch, as he put it, by acting like he's conducting the orchestra, playing it and pointing at people and giving thumbs up to everyone, like during the national anthem. One side is actually kind of respecting the national anthem while acknowledging the problems that we have in the country. The other side is the president, who is doing the whole thing. Now, whether you are or not a supporter of Donald Trump, I personally don't give a shit. I am not. I will give credit where it's due on things that he's done. I'm not going to get political here. But the thing is the joke behind cancel culture is it is depending on what they feel like canceling. It's always what it is. There's never an actual conviction behind it. Like Sue and I were talking earlier about them burning books.
Oh, God, yeah.
There's a book burning in Virginia right now.
I can't
book burning.
Lord, don't get me started.
So I'm just saying, I'm just using this as an example.
What's getting burned?
Dr. Seuss.
Who's burning Dr. Seuss?
Conservatives.
Several schools in the school districts in Virginia.
Yeah, they are now burning books because Dr. Seuss, the actual family behind the books, made a conscientious decision that some of their things have not aged well. So they're not like ripping them off of shelves. They're still being sold. They're not being pulled. They're just not going to print any more of those specific entries in the collection. So they're losing their minds. They're burning. They're canceling Dr. Seuss now. And these are people. I remember, like, I have friends of mine that are conservatives that are talking about how I was like, oh well, conservatives don't cancel things. Like, oh, you're full of shit. I don't care what side you are politically. You cancel things. And the people that cancel things have no convictions. They are looking for things to cancel. They're looking for reasons to be outraged. These are people that just cannot go about their lives.
Yeah, do we
people
forget
accountable.
so soon about boycott Nike, boycott the NFL, boycott the NBA, boycott everything, or boycott NASCAR because they banned Confederate flags?
Yeah, and that's the thing. And you know what? All these like, people that have like two teeth in their damn mouths are still watching NASCAR. They're still watching, like, pro football. They're still screaming at the TVs. But the thing is they're not posting all over social media. And when they do, I catch them and I call them out. Guess what gets deleted real quick? Not my comment, the whole thing.
Oh, that's
right. Like, if you're going to have conviction, it's no different to me than Bible thumpers who pick and choose what verses they're going to back up in that Bible.
Yes.
That is cancel culture to a T. It is a damn Bible and the person holding it. That's what it is. So, boys, girls, I will say, if you're going to do something, do me a favor. I will never take you serious as a person until you actually convict yourself to every ounce of your beliefs and hold other people accountable in ways that you disagree with for someone else to do it. This isn't political. It's not even a belief. It is a half-assed way of saying, hey, I'm offended, so now I'm going to rally people behind me so I can destroy this person that I just simply don't like, as opposed to addressing the person themselves. If you have something to say it to the person. Everything is run as a business.
Years ago. Just like I did at the restaurant years ago.
And that's it. You say what you have to say. Mm-hmm. You make your point clear, and then you move on with your life. Let nature take its course. Things come around. What comes around goes around. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. But you know what? There are people that change. Like, you want to get political? What was it like? I see conservatives like, oh well, like Biden was friends with like the supreme wizard of the KKK. No, he wasn't. Never was. The KKK member that got into government got out of the KKK, and then he even signed off on the Civil Rights Act. It's not a white supremacist thing. Like, people change their beliefs. People do evolve. They do grow. You have to give them a chance. I will say this one time because it is a big belief of mine. There are times where my faith in humanity is almost completely destroyed. All it takes is for one person to come back and rebuild every ounce of that faith through some random act. You will always get what you put out there in the universe. And if it's nothing but anger, that's what you're going to be dealing with for the rest of your life.
Absolutely.
You have to honestly live and let live. You have to learn to forgive. You have to learn to accept people for who they are. Let them know where you stand with how you think of them. You don't have to support them by any means. But you have to accept who they are, whether it's good or bad. Some of the most brilliant people are some of the most evil people. Some of the most talented people are some of the most evil people. But also some of the most brilliant people are some of the most beautiful people. And some of the most talented people are some of the most beautiful people as well. There's no absolutes. There's always your side, their side, and the whole misconstrued message being delivered and message being perceived.
The one thing that my husband, as a police officer and in the Army, He is very adamant about it. He goes, there is no, he said, there's three sides to every story: his side, her side, and the truth. What happened?
Absolutely.
There's three sides. Listen to both sides and then find the truth. What really happened? What was really said? Without clipping and putting together bits and pieces of the conversation.
Yeah. But even then, like, the truth is, like, somewhere in between. So you can piece it together, but it may not be exactly what you perceive it to be.
Exactly.
But what is written is always how a person feels at that point in time. Uh, Now, maybe Gina Carano in a few years will grow out of whatever it is that she's feeling. Maybe she will, I don't know, be more eventually. Right now, she's very political. She's very politically based. There's no ifs,
Well, a
ands, or
lot of
buts.
the
She's a,
culture is today.
what's that?
A lot of the people of society are.
Oh, absolutely. But that is the issue.
Right.
Politics should only go so far. Your political beliefs, like, by all means, if you're over here screaming like, like the Holocaust never happened, first off, you're an idiot. Second, um, if you're screaming the Holocaust never happened, or like, Jews or black people or Hispanic people, like, they don't know, like, they're holding themselves, like, if you're preaching from some level of insensitivity, guess what? Yeah, it's going to come back and bite you in the ass. Now, if there's something you posted years ago and someone brings this to your attention, you need to acknowledge it. You have to acknowledge it. If you want to be understood, if you want what you're trying to say to be understood, you have to acknowledge it. Um, she simply failed to do so. And and I don't want to sound like this is like all picking on Gina Carano, because there's so many more than just her. It happens a lot. Singers, actors, like directors, all that stuff. Like, I mean, you know, I remember the whole thing with Harvey Weinstein. You had people viciously defending him because he could have never done any of that stuff, right? They had people that are coming forward, like, saying things like, well, if these people were really raped or sexually assaulted, why didn't they come through then? It's like, well, that's the mindset that causes cancel culture. I hate to say it, because you look at cancel, that's the mindset that they don't hold people accountable for their actions. Like, I know people that still believe that he was innocent and just say he was canceled. Like, well, no, he was, like, no.
Just like Bill Cosby.
One person said something which caused other people to realize it's okay to come forward and say something. I can be taken seriously about this.
Right.
These are my accounts.
Just like Bill Cosby.
Yep. Yep. America's dad. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm sorry. But the whole point of the show tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is that cancel culture and accountability are two different things. Um, Always is. Um, there's no two sides to there's two sides of the coin. One side, you do something stupid, you can stand up for your beliefs. That's fine. You can have your beliefs, but as Josh, as you put it, own your beliefs and discuss them, clarify them, defend yourself, but have a conversation, compromise. With Gina, like, all she had to do was just, like, follow the rules. That's all she had to do. She didn't do it. She got fired. Bam, done. That's all there is to it. I'm sad to see her go because of the fact that I know it's probably unpopular. I thought she was pretty awesome in the show. I was looking forward to the spinoff, so I'm kind of sad to not see where that's going to go. But on the other end, like, like, she is seriously a product of her own doing.
Yeah.
So how bad should I feel for her for losing her job? I'm not. I'm not feeling bad for her at all. Like, it's a shame, but you know what? There were ways that she could have gone about it and probably still kept her job too.
Oh, absolutely.
So yeah, that's really all I've got on the issue. Guys.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh,
Hey,
sorry.
Brandon.
Oh, my.
Yeah, I'm here.
Can you see the
Oh, my
StreamYard
headset died. Okay.
window?
Huh?
Can you see the StreamYard window?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I just
Well, we have
apparently my.
some comments going in the chat. If you want to address those real quick.
There we go. Okay, I'm sorry. Hmm. Oh, Michael De Paola. I'm sorry, buddy. Uh, with all due respect, yeah, you're an idiot.
Well, context, man, context. I will show the comments on the screen here first.
Yep.
And
You had two viewers because you're spitting bullshit. Everyone has an opinion, which is exactly what I just said. A majority of the Hollywood technocrats and politicians are evil, pedophiles, Satan worshipping losers.
Wow.
So we have a member of we have a member of QAnon in here, but that's great. Hey, buddy, how'd it go yesterday? I'm sorry, 2 days ago when Trump was supposed to take back the White House. Yeah, it's just like it's. Sorry, I have to actually. Oh, did he just comment?
Yeah, this was from like 3 minutes ago.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm sorry, Michael. You're completely full. You're obviously not like listening. You probably just chimed in. I've actually addressed the fact that everyone has an opinion, and I guess welcome to the show. And you're a prime example of exactly the mentality I'm talking about. Congratulations.
And the reason, just for the record, we have 2 people watching at the moment is because we're not usually on Saturday nights, we're on Friday nights, and our usual crowd isn't here to listen in.
Well, like I said, he's the mentality I'm talking about. He's of a small mindset. I guarantee he's probably just going to continue commenting on here to like try to like I guess justify how intelligent or edgy or witty he is when he's probably the furthest thing from it.
I'm pretty sure he's gone now.
Oh, okay. Well, then, c'est la vie, and good riddance. But the thing is still, but like that's the point. Like, see, political bias. So you can have a political view. I'm not going to demonize you because you're a conservative or a Republican or a Democrat or a liberal. I'm not going to demonize you. If I can have a conversation with you, that's great. People like this Michael dude, a video. What's up, buddy? Always good to have you here, bud. If you can actually have a conversation and speak with some kind of like I don't know, like level-headed cognizance, then by all means jump in, have a conversation. But I'm honestly curious what bullshit that we're spewing. We're actually being very open-minded here. Like, I'm sorry that I offended him over Gina Carano, but I'm sorry, bitch got fired, not canceled.
Exactly.
But it's okay. Listen, Michael, you can always catch her at the Daily Wire now. Oh, God. Or maybe what, like Parlor? I don't know. God. That actually made my night. That's funny.
How about you read this one?
No, I saw. I just addressed a video on that one, like with him saying that he's listening. And video, you're next on the show, buddy. I want to talk to you about that really epic Batman Beyond short that you guys did. And if you guys have not seen this, I will actually be posting this thing that Ovidio produced. It is it's a fan film, but it is a live action version of the fight from Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker. And I gotta say, like the Batman Beyond suit was pretty badass, and the guy that played the Joker was really damn amazing.
Oh wow!
So I'm going to have to post that tonight on the WADcast, if that's okay with you, a video. I want to post it up and draw some attention to it. I thought it was pretty awesome. So, Josh, how long do you think it's going to be till Michael D. Powell, whatever his name is, leaves us a review on the WADcast?
Hopefully soon.
Oh God, that's funny.
That's the weird thing about the review algorithms. It doesn't really matter if it's good or bad as long as it's getting traction.
Yeah, listen, I know that we suck, but I have a good time doing it. I have a good time sucking. I am all about that mediocrity, baby. What's that?
I am not commenting to that.
It's okay. I said that as a double conundrum. Like, you guys just,
I would like to before we sign off. I don't think I've had a chance to talk about this so far this year, but I have made it a personal goal to average watching one movie a day for 2021.
I wish.
And we are 31 days in January. 28 is 59, and it is the 6th, so 6 plus 59 is 65.
Okay.
Is my math checking out?
I guess. Dude, I've had today's the mostly, but I've had almost a week. I don't know. Possibly.
Well, I would like to throw out my numbers so far for the year. Maybe as kind of an accountability thing. Everyone can help me achieve my goal. Kind of makes me wish I set a better goal for weight loss. But I just want to do something I can achieve. So my movies watched this year is now 77. Thank you.
Yay.
I am on track for one movie a day and then some. So, yay.
Okay. Hey, you. I have not actually. No, I'm sorry. What was the last movie I watched? Was probably Wally's Wonderland. Wally's Wonderland.
Let's see. I watched 3 movies today.
God.
I don't have time to watch movies.
Oh God! Listen. See, I took a night shift at work because that gives me more time to focus on the COVID compliance officer gig, networking for that, working on Bad Agent, working on the feature script, and also working on my 9-to-5 Workaholics comic strip that I did way back in the day. So, my sleep schedule has been null and void, and any spare time I have is either dedicated towards this or occasionally talking to, or even less often, seeing my girlfriend. So,
see, I have the one job, right? So
yeah.
I do that, and I play video games. So there's that.
Shit.
And I'm a single father of 3 children, so I, do that.
Oh, and I should probably include the dog with my schedule too. That I feel kind of shitty for excluding Indiana Jones.
You shouldn't feel bad for excluding Indiana Jones. So there's cooking, cleaning, writing, of course. A couple of those things I can double up on. The writing and the movie watching kind of go hand in hand. One window open with a movie, one window open with Final Draft, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because after all, I have a goal that I'm trying to achieve here, and life's pretty busy, but you got to make time for the things that you love, and the reason why we do this, the reason why we are in the Facebook groups we're in, the reason why we do the writing that we do is because we love movies, and quite frankly, if I'm going to be in a group called movie addiction. I need to start exercising that and, really supplying my addiction rather than not,
Right.
I'm not a very good addict if I'm not watching movies very often at all.
No, fair enough. The thing is like I just, like I said, like I think, like okay, I pick. I think the most entertainment I've had was actually. It's funny that a video is in the chat room. I have a Nintendo Wii that has all these old school Nintendo, Super Nintendo games on it, and everything else, like a Genesis. I have like probably close to like 4,000 games on this Nintendo Wii that I have that I put on there. And so I remember like I was hanging out at my friend Ryan's house. Me like long time ago now. Like it feels like another lifetime before COVID happened. My buddy Ryan had a big barbecue. We're all sitting over there having a good time playing Nintendo games, and a video brings up this game, Gunsmoke, and it's like this Western game. But I've been playing that on Nintendo, so like whatever downtime, just because I suck at it, I can expect to get really frustrated and turn it off pretty quickly. So that's been my other downtime for like whenever I cannot sleep, just rock out the Gunsmoke for like 5-10 minutes. So I've been playing that video game. But yeah, movies have just been too time consuming for me to really focus on. If I turn them on, I make it past the opening credits maybe, and I'll wake up and the movie's already over, or has been over for a couple hours. So I am living the life that my mom and my stepdad have always warned me about when it comes to adulthood. Enjoy your free time now, because when you move out, you're never going to have time. Like, I'll have plenty of time. I'm going to rock out. I'm going to have all the time in the world.
And it's spring break.
Freaking lie I told myself there, man. But, listen, and I will say this. If you are still listening, Michael, I will gladly, I am so proud that you commented this because it goes so in line with the show tonight that I took a screenshot of your comments and I will gladly post them on the WADcast website. So I appreciate your input.
15 minutes of fame.
Yes. You are relevant, at least on a no-name podcast, for like 24 hours. And I'm happy that you posted simply because of the fact that you are the mentality of which I so aptly despise.
Let me throw out there that as the president and CEO of Semicore Studios, I have every right and every ability to not only delete but also block things of this nature. But as an editorial note, I decided against that because I don't want to stifle someone's. It's not a critique, but I'm not trying to shut down people's opinions of us, no matter if they're good or, in this case, moronic.
Their freedom of speech.
Yeah.
Well, no, but that's it. I would never allow you to do it as is because of the fact that, like with him, everyone should have a voice. Now, he has the voice to say that we're spewing bullshit, which is fine.
Yeah, cool.
Tell me one episode where we are not spitting bullshit. Tell me one episode where I have not spat some kind of bullshit. It's never like he's never listened to another episode of shows.
We're 41 episodes in, and it's 41 straight. You are on fire.
Exactly. I am the master of spitting bullshit. I do it all the damn time. But now he's had his voice. He's got the right to proclaim his voice, just as I have the right to say someone's not paying attention to the show. Or someone just chimed in. And I'm looking forward to interacting with him in the future. I would love for him to come on the show again and leave another comment, and maybe stay for the rebuttal.
I will even give you a link to our call, Michael, and you can voice your opinions as you see fit. But with that being said, you have to be ready for the reciprocation and the retorts, as well as the endless mocking that is bound to come with it.
Oh, please let me know when you do that, because I've got a lot to say back to Michael.
Oh, absolutely.
That's the beauty of being able to speak your mind. It's that you can tell me what you think, and then I'm going to tell you what I think. And that's just the world we live in.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at the guys. I think, honestly, I'm looking at the guy's profile right now on Facebook, and I think it's because I spoke bad about Donald Trump.
Could be.
And I didn't even speak bad about him. Actually, I didn't say one unkind word about him. All I said was that he was just, he said one thing while he was orchestrating, he was acting like an orchestra, he was orchestrating the, what do you call it, goddamn national anthem.
Cover song.
Yeah, the cover song. America's cover song. Like, when was it that we became a bunch of, like, overly sensitive pussies?
How about when someone
if I say
said,
something derogatory,
how dare they raise the taxes on our tea?
Listen, you guys tried to overthrow the government. You thought you'd have some kind of big civil war. You lasted 5 hours. You got your asses kicked, and most of you got arrested. Live with it. But the thing is like, what I'm saying is, like, when was it that we as a nation, as a whole, became a bunch of when is that we became such a group of overly sensitive pussies that, like, if I say anything derogatory or racially driven or attacking, like, like people that, like, may like members of the same sex or identify as some way, if I attack them, by all means come after me. If I attack you personally, come after me. But if I say something bad about someone, or if I even, like, mention, God forbid, I mention Donald Trump, this guy blows up like I'm talking bad about his ex-girlfriend. Or ex-boyfriend, Michael. I'm not judging, buddy.
Missed the part where you're talking about the governor of California.
Yeah, he missed the whole part where I said, like, Gavin Newsom needs to be gone.
But that goes on both sides of the fence, too, guys.
Huh?
That goes on both sides of the fence.
Well, no, exactly. But that's exactly my point. I'm right on the top of the fence. I am the cats on the fence in the middle of the night between two different houses that is squawking all night long, keeping both of you guys up and annoying you so much. That is me. I'm that cat, dude. I am that pussy. I am that pussy. But but the thing is like, I guarantee the guy heard, like, one part of the show, and I don't care if he hears any more of the show. I personally do not care. You guys are all welcome to come and go as we please. We love to have you on. If you choose to go, that's fine. If you say something, that's fine. If you say something and leave, that's fine. But like Josh says, if you say something that's kind of challenging our show a little bit, and then your first rebuttal is to leave, that is no different than coming up to me and doing a very, very limp-wristed slap on my shoulder and running as fast as you can down the sidewalk.
What I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around someone that believes the majority of Hollywood and things like that are, quote, evil pedophile, Satan worshiping losers.
Well, it's a QAnon belief. That's what it is. It's a QAnon belief.
No, I get that.
Let me just state that right now.
What I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around is, if this is his belief, did he get lost somewhere? How did he wind up here? The show that covers Hollywood.
I don't know. Because there are dumb people, and they come from all political sides and religious sides, and he is probably a member of he's probably a member of the group of people that says that the flag should always be respected, considering his profile picture. The flag should always be protected at all times. It's a sacred thing. Guaranteed the fucker goes out every 4th of July wrapped up in a flag. Or a flag print or everything else, which is actually technically against the code. But it's cool. It's just hypocrisy at its finest, and people like him are a dime a dozen. There's tons of them. So,
yeah, I've seen a lot of people that drape themselves in the flag of the United States, both figuratively and literally, claiming to be proud supporters of the U.S. Constitution, biggest supporters of the military and police. But after the election results came through, it was, we're seceding.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, my favorite has always been. Oh, sorry, 1 second. There we go. All right, my favorite has always been, let's just get rid of California. And my whole rebuttal was, let's do it. I live in California. We'll be fine. Oh God, I could go on I could go on all kinds of political things that would make Michael's head explode from just like facts, not alternative facts, but facts. But I won't, because our show has actually been going on for quite some time now. So
yeah, we're about to hit that 2-hour mark. So maybe there will be a political show on the Semicore Studios network at some point in the future, but that time is not now. What time is it? What time is it now? It's time for Sue to let everybody know how she can be followed on social media, and then you could call out to, I guess, cancel. I guess.
Well, no. Listen, we've had Michael on here. We might get canceled next week, so we don't know.
I know the owner. We're not going anywhere.
Okay, y'all can find me on Facebook, Sue M. Swank. You can find me on Twitter at Sue Swank. And my dog has Instagram and TikTok under Tiberius the Terrible. He lets me play on it once in a while. But yes, those are my dogs. That's my dog's accounts. But I'm on Facebook and Twitter. And just so you know, you will never find anything political on my page because I keep my political opinions to myself.
That's fair.
Yep.
Brandon, what you got?
Well, you can find me on Facebook under Brandon Junk. I promise that is my last name. I didn't choose it, but I will choose the parents' nursing homes. Now,
junk.
What's that?
Hashtag canceled junk.
Listen, you can never have enough junk, okay? And maybe if Michael had a little bit more junk in him, he'd be happier. Mike, what's up, baby doll? Now, let's move on. You can find me on Facebook under Brandon Junk. There's a picture, a very, very striking picture of me in a beanie with glasses on. That's my profile. Send a friend request. I may or may not accept it. I really don't accept many friend requests. I've got a lot of them pending right now. Lost count at about like 2,000. Now, you can also find us on Facebook, the WADcast, facebook.com/the WADcast. You'll notice us because we have our classic banner, black with a white banner that says the WADcast in it. Same with Instagram, instagram.com/the WADcast. You can choose to follow us, you can choose to not follow us, or you can choose to cancel us. Either way, I'll be, I accept your choices and who you are as a person. And you can also visit our website, thewadcast.com. It is still up, but we have not done a damn thing with it in a long time, simply because of the fact that work has not allowed me to do anything with it, and I'm lazy. So that's where you can find me. Or on Twitter at You Can't Ground Me. So I think that actually goes hand in hand with our episode tonight. You won't even. Come on. And if it means anything, if I annoy any one of you or if I offend any one of you, I annoy and offend both my girlfriend, my dog, and myself every day. So nothing new. Just accept me or don't. Josh, where can people find you, sir?
Well, as always, you can find me on Twitter at Semicore. No, I changed that. It's at Skidcomic. If you want to find me on Twitter, it's at Skidcomic. So send your hashtag cancel Josh tweets in that direction. That way they can get to me directly. If you want to follow the show, it's at WADcast Pod. Or if you want to follow Semicore Studios, where we do more than one podcast on this network, or at least I used to. But, like Brandon said, lazy, right? You can always follow Semicore Studios on Twitter at Semicore Studios. Go to Facebook. Like Semicore Studios on Facebook, where shows like this are live streamed for you to participate in the comments section on a weekly basis, much like Israel and Michael and a video did, and it can be fun. It can be exciting. Joining the conversation as we talk movies and what makes them every week. Usually Friday night, right here, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. Whew. And then also, if you're looking for me specifically, don't forget to check out my profiles on Letterboxd. That's I believe it's Skit Comic on Letterboxd as well. Find out what I've been watching, what I've rated, what I've been watching, and if you're feeling a little adventurous, there's always Facebook dating and Bumble. I'm there too. Yeah, I went there.
Did you say Facebook dating?
Yeah.
I'll talk to you after the show's over.
Okay. Speaking of which, it's time for me to hit the music. I don't know. Brandon, do you have anything judgy to say to me?
Judgy? No. Actually, I honestly, I enjoyed this episode. It was cathartic. I think that we actually talked about a few things, despite the lack of awareness of one of our listeners, for the 5-second listeners. No, I've got nothing. Just say, everyone have a great night. Be the best you. And try not to be douches like Michael. That's all I got.
Okay, well, I'm going to hit the music. I'm going to mute you guys real quick so I can hit the music, play the outro, and remind you that the only thing standing in your way is you. And let me throw in something there. Not only is future you standing in your way, but past you might be standing in your way too. So it might be a good idea to check out the things that you've been putting on the internet, because the internet is forever. Take care of that before it becomes a problem. I'm not saying hide who you are, how you feel. I'm just saying that when you put yourself out there like that, you might want to think about what the best way to...
I didn't understand that.
You might want to think about the best way to translate your thoughts, opinions, and emotions. Follow your dreams, people, before they're taken away.
And I unmuted my microphone.